Okay, you guys, happy 4th of July 2021. Apologize about all the stuttering and the shock. I'm just tired. Having a tough time lately. Electricity seems to be taken for granted by too many people for way too long. They make some serious mistakes. I'm not trying to tell anyone I'm an expert, because I'm not. I'm not even a trained electrician. I've just been working on electricity for over 30 years. Picked up things here and there. I spoke to people a lot better than me. They gave me some ideas, and I worked with them while we kind of helped each other out, because I know the site better than a lot of other people do. So, all the sites, when I worked there for a while, I know the sites better. I know where things are, how to find things, what kind of problems I had previously. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's 10 electrical tricks and hacks, but there's more than that in there. It's probably about 15, because one of them I break down to 3 different parts. 15, 14, whatever it is. So one of them saved my life last year. I'll explain it to you. Should be the last one, hopefully, or the second to last one. There's so much more I can get into. I just don't want to make the video too long, and I want to give you guys some ideas. They can actually help you find issues without actually calling a qualified personnel electrician and paying for it. So there are some tricks in here if you guys are interested. Okay, not much more I can say than that, but if you feel uncomfortable with something, you're unsure what you're doing, don't do it. And don't let somebody else convince you this is right, this is wrong. You don't know how many messes I have cleaned up over the past 3 decades. People that have made, and even against code, because some people come from different places, whether it be a different part of the world, and they do different things there. And the code here is a little bit different. And they don't understand that they just, well, I can get away with this, I can get away with that, and actually you're asking for trouble. Okay, so I'm trying to keep you guys safe and save you guys some money. Hope you enjoy part 2. Okay, here we are to part 2 of this video. Try to keep it simple, make it easy so people can understand, hopefully. And I'm definitely going to add several links to some of the other videos that have to deal with electricity. And I do have a playlist when it comes to electricity you guys might want to take a look at. You'll find some interesting information there. First, number 1 rule when it comes to electricity: turn the power off. Okay, they make Gfci Tester like this. You can turn the power off. You can find out which breaker turns off that outlet. They also make a little pen tool which tests the magnetic field around current going through wires, and that can help you also. I have to say my favorite is definitely a multimeter to work on electricity, but there are times where I needed the pen tool with the wires were just so old, they were so burnt, they all looked black, and I couldn't figure out which was the hot or the neutral. Just recently, some guy took apart a switch, put it back together, and let's say he blew things. Thank God he only took about 1 switch with 3 wires, and it took me about 10 minutes to figure out and get everything back together again, working properly. Okay, different video, different explanation. Turn off power. Number 1 rule. I can't see the screen too good from here, so that's why I'm sitting down so I can see the screen, because I got the camera at a slightly odd angle. Number 2, resetting breakers. Most people keep trying to reset a breaker, and they don't realize if it keeps tripping, you're heating up the spring or the element inside, whatever mechanism is inside the breaker, and it'll keep tripping unless you let it cool down or you figure out what actually is tripping the breaker. I'm going to give you 2 parts to checking issues for breakers or that keep tripping that hopefully can let you find it without having to call someone. Okay, number 1, when you turn on the breaker, what's on that circuit? Is it a ironing board? Is it iron with an ironing board? Is it a hair dryer? Fish tank pumps? I have a lot of trouble here with aluminum wiring with surge protectors. When they get a certain age, they just start tripping the breaker for no reason. I'll pull out everything that's on that circuit. Let's say there's 5 outlets on that circuit and 1 light switch. The light switch I'm not usually worried about. I can turn it on and off. But I'll pull out everything on that circuit, and if I reset the breaker and I start plugging things in and 1 trips, I know that's the issue. Okay, so that's one way to hopefully find why you tripping the breaker without having to call someone. Okay, basically unplug everything on that circuit. Okay, and then you can start plugging things back in. This happened to me with a few surge protectors and once with a pump on a fish tank. So that's definitely one way. The other way to do this is a way I actually came up. Nobody showed me this. Nobody taught me this. I never seen it before. I would ask the person I'm doing the job for, were you using something? Like, yeah, I was using this vacuum cleaner or this lamp over here. And as soon as I turn it on, it tripped. I'll unplug that lamp. If the breaker resets, I'm good to go. I know there's an issue with that lamp or that outlet. Okay, so this is different ways to find the issue without having to call someone. Okay, and do not reset breaker more than twice. Okay, you can reset it a third time, but you want to let it cool down 20 minutes, even a half an hour easily. And if it cools down and resets, then you're fine. Okay, so don't just keep resetting the breaker thinking you're gonna get lucky. You're not. There's a reason why it's tripping. But at least I gave you 2 ways to hopefully find the issue and reset the breaker without having to pay a dime. Okay. Difference between line and load. This is a Gfci tester, and on the top there it actually says line, and on the bottom with this little piece of yellow tape it says load. It also says input and output. That's helpful. Usually I see line and load. I don't see the other one. This is mostly for Gfci devices and stuff like this. Most outlets don't have something like that. Okay. Line is your power coming in. Load is going to another outlet or a light switch for a lamp or something like that. That's basically the major difference. Line is power coming in, load is going out. Okay? If you plug it in, the line, power coming into load, this is not going to work right. Another tip when installing GFCIs, make sure the breaker is off. It is not on the GFCI. They usually come off from the factory and you have to push them in to test them. We don't install a lot of these, but when we do, and we don't get no power from the GFCI, we forget, oh shoot, we got to reset the test button here. Okay, so that's the difference between line and load. Oh, number 3, that was number 3, excuse me. Tape on screwdriver. They do make direct equipment for electrical work. I just did this recently because I was working in a live panel with breakers and making sure all the hots, neutrals, and grounds was tight. Even the legs coming in. And I didn't want to arc on anything at all because there are some ground wires that are bare inside there, and things can be very tight sometimes. So this can help you if you have an issue. Okay. This particular one is not the best example because it's a full tang shaft, goes straight through, and it has a metal cap here. So this is not an electrical screwdriver. Klein makes some of the best inexpensive ones, and a site I get my tools from is usually KC Tools. You got selections galore. Okay, if you had 5 Home Depots in one store, you still got selection at KC Tools, all kinds of equipment and tools. It's a huge site, and you can get reviews and stuff like that. Okay, but you can use this in the bind. It is not electrical rated at all, but it can help you from arcing something. I had it all the way to the tip here. So I just been using it. I don't take the tape off because it still comes in handy. Okay, I gotta get a dedicated set one of these days. Using a Gfci tester. I'm gonna put up a video on it. I'm gonna put a link in the description below how to use this, how it works, how to read it, stuff like that. So I don't have to go through a major explanation, make the video too long. Okay. Liquids and electricity, number 6. Do not mix. I was working somewhere, we had a leak and I needed a light. And this clown decides to take extension cord, plug it in the socket, bare wires into an outlet and try to hand it to me. I cursed the guy. I did. I told him. He understood real quick. He got that thing away from me. Okay. Another time, just recently, we were working in outdoor service panel, 100 amp service panel for 3 different units. Actually, it should be a 300 amp service panel. I apologize. And there was wasp in there. And someone told me, "Did you spray it?" And I looked at them sideways. They didn't understand why I was looking at them sideways. You don't mix any liquids with electricity, especially in a live panel. Okay, you just don't do it, period. If you get water coming down your light, basically just turn it off. Leave it off until everything dries out, however long it takes, okay? You don't want to cause any sparks and all like that, or God forbid the water hits you and electricity passes to you. You don't need that, okay? Just turn the switch off until you get qualified personnel to find out what's leaking and get it fixed, okay? Liquids and electricity do not mix. Using gloves, tight fitting. You see a lot of my electrical videos. I will use gloves like this. They make skinnier ones that fit tighter. They're kind of for the food industry, and they're more dexterous. But I get away with these fine. I'm happy with these as long as I don't get them wet. Okay, but using gloves is a good idea. I tend to work in the worst conditions, and I use gloves, so it can save you. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, you got several outlets that are not working, and that breaker will not reset. Easy ways, hopefully you find something, a loose wire or an arcing wire on the outlets. Pull the covers off, get a flashlight, look inside. You really don't have to do a lot, just pull the covers off. Okay, that might help you actually find the issue. Okay? Alright. Understanding number 9, the differences between volts times amps equals watts. I put this video up a long time ago. I got a ton of views on it. Not sure. A lot of views. I guess you guys can see the link below. Take a look at it. Basically, if you have a 15 amp breaker and you have 120 volts coming in, maxing out that breaker at 1800 watts, it's going to trip it every time, and sometimes only 80%, because the breakers get older through time and they can trip faster. It's not always 100%. It could be actually 80% can trip a breaker. So if you got a refrigerator that has a motor that gets a hard start, you got a toaster oven and you got a toaster or a microwave, and you put all those together on, forget about it. Trip breaker all day long, and that's why you're exceeding the capacity of that breaker using those 3 devices. And the only reason I say watts is because a lot of devices say watts on it, and people don't understand that mathematical formula. I'm tired, sorry. But that's a very good one to know. The last one here saved my life last year, and I tell it to people that come in that work with me, and they kind of laugh at me. And I actually had an eyewitness that was with me. We were working on a condenser coil outside, 240 volt. I had no power. We went inside, checked. All the breakers were straight. So let me go to the outside panel. Sure enough, there was a breaker that was tripped. I tell people use one hand. Just take one hand, put it in your pocket so you don't get grounded. You're not 2 hands on an electrical panel. Only one hand touching the breaker. When I flipped that breaker, there was a popping noise like a .32 caliber gun went off. Basically, 2 wires got fused together. The casing on one of the wires was melted just because of the heat, or they were too close together. And I had to call an electrician to come out here because I got nervous. I didn't know what it was. I wasn't touching the panel again. I said, "That's it for me, buddy." The electrician came. He showed us the picture of what happened, and he fixed the wiring. And 240 volt could kill me or anybody else. Okay, so using one hand, you want to get on an electrical device, not using 2 hands, touching everything metal against metal, so electricity doesn't go through you. It's a very good idea, and it has saved my life at least once so far. Maybe other times, I don't know. But that one time, that happened last year. I'm going to be putting a lot of links below referencing this stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a very great Happy 4th of July 2021. See you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh, shoot. There's one more. Lighting. Gotta have proper lighting. When you're working on electrical, you do not want to have work in the dark. So I don't know how many that came out to me, because I added a few in there, but it was for you guys to enjoy the video. Don't forget the last one, one-handed. Alright, resetting a breaker or something like that. If I'm taking off a face on a surface panel, I either got 2 gloves on or at least 1 glove on, so I don't ground myself out. That was the only time I've ever heard of wires doing that, and they were not 15 gauge, 20 gauge wires, 15, 20 amp. They were huge. They were double 30 amps, 60 amp current was going through the compressor. Okay, that's enough for the video. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Any questions, just ask, and enjoy your 4th of July. Bye.